Hello, everyone, and welcome to Culture of Gaming's Power Up Podcast, episode 21. Excuse me. I'm your host, Taylor, and this week I'm joined by Kevin.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Okay, good? Yeah.
Going good.
Good. Going good? Okay. It's good, man. All right, Andrew.
Hi, hello.
Yep, and, of course, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm back as usual. I'm always back, but after last time, I wasn't sure if I would come back, but yeah, cool.
Oh, no. Okay.
My computer keeps crashing, so yeah, hopefully it all works.
Yeah, I just need just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Come on. All right,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we, of course, have a great show lined up for you guys today. Before we get into the news topics and whatnot, Kevin, so what do you do at COG?
I am a staff writer.
Okay.
Because of my recent move, I wasn't writing anything for a little bit, but I mostly do game reviews and comic book reviews. Every once in a while, I'll do an editorial. Right now, I've had two recent comic book reviews. I did Assassin's Creed Origins. They have a little comic book line that talks about Aya's journey from Assassin's Creed. And
Okay.
yeah, I did reviews for those, and you can check them out on cultureofgaming.com.
Awesome.
Cool.
What was your favorite out of the two comic reviews that you did recently?
I think the Bloodborne comic book series is really good.
Yeah.
It kind of captures a good portion of what the game is about, and I love how they use the game mechanics of Bloodborne into the story of the comic book. I think it's really ingenious, actually.
Okay. That's really interesting. I might have to go check it out. I love
Mm-hmm.
Bloodborne and like the whole Souls world and everything too. That's kind of related, but yeah. Bloodborne 2, anyone? Anyone excited for Bloodborne?
Oh yeah, I'm so excited.
Okay.
I still haven't finished Bloodborne 1, but
Okay.
I love that game. That I love gothic, Lovecraftian, type of monsters and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't?
Right.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Me.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Okay, sorry Taylor and Kevin, but I absolutely can't stand Dark Souls games.
Okay.
Just because I keep dying mainly, but
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not that good of a gamer in the first place, so they frustrate me quite a bit.
Yeah. So, Souls, yay or nay there, Andrew?
Yeah, they're cool, I guess.
Okay.
I put like a certain amount of hours into them, and I'm like, I got stuck. Time to move on.
Yeah.
So that's usually how it works for me.
Fair enough. This past week, I got debated really, really hard by IGN because I see in my YouTube feed, oh, Bloodborne 2, The Road to E3. This was on the same, or it's like this was the day after of the Battlefield trailer. And it was like, wait, did all the hype for Battlefield 5, did everyone miss the Bloodborne 2 announcement? What? But no, it was just like a rumor and speculation like roundup video. So are you kidding me? So I got debated really, really hard. This is slightly out of order, so sorry about that. But this leads into our first news topic. Dark Souls Remaster. Anybody pick that up or play it at all a little bit? Look at stuff about it? No.
No, I haven't yet.
Is the one on PC the remastered version, or?
Okay, so like what's going on is what happened with the whole PC stuff is when Dark Souls first came out on the PC, it was a very really, really bad port. Okay?
Yep.
And then within a couple of weeks, modding community took to the streets, and by streets I mean, coding programs.
Internet pathways.
Yeah, and JDE. And they developed a mod for it that made it very playable. Got it up, unlocked the resolution, unlocked the frame rate, etc., etc., etc. And so people on PC have just been using that as a sort of like mandatory mod for since whenever that game came out. I think it was like 2011 for the PC. And so with Dark Souls Remaster, not only do all the current gen consoles get to experience Dark Souls 1, but also PC, they've removed the original Dark Souls from the Steam store, replaced it with the remaster. And the remaster doesn't, even on PC at least, doesn't quite do what the mod did as well.
Oh, that sucks.
That's not good.
Yeah, so everyone's pretty disappointed in it.
Well, I'm thinking of picking it up on the Switch, to be honest. I'm gonna go out of country, and I thought that'd be a great game to take with me on the plane. But at the same time, there's a high chance I could get mugged in the same country I'm going to, so I don't know if that's such a good idea to take my Switch with me.
Okay.
But I've been considering picking up Dark Souls before I go on this trip.
Yeah. So the it was going to release on the same date. I believe it released May 25th. So that would have been yesterday. And yeah, as I said before, all the consoles got it except for the Switch. That version has been delayed a little bit.
Oh, it has.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which is why I'm kind of disappointed because, you know, after knowing all the stuff about the PC port or whatever, the only platform I really care about for Dark Souls Remaster is the Switch. So,
I thought that was already out.
nope.
Oh,
Nope.
got delayed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Proves how
Oh,
much
shit.
I know about Dark Souls, but yeah.
it's okay. So yeah, kind of a little bit depressing, but yeah, at least the PC one didn't quite do as bad as the whole BioShock 1 and 2 remasters on PC.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yikes.
And at least, I mean, with the, yeah, that's right, because they released like the specs and whatnot of what was going to happen, what they were looking at releasing for the Switch.
Mhm.
I believe they did that, and they released a trailer for it as well.
Yeah.
And people were very disappointed with the FPS capping and all that kind of stuff. So at least now that they've delayed it, they might be able to actually finish it off and make it look decent.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still forever hoping for like a Souls trilogy to come out on the Switch or something, because there have been rumors flying around since forever about Dark Souls 3 coming to the Switch.
Okay.
So yeah.
Didn't Japan get like a special edition version that contains all the Dark Souls plus a statue or some bookends or something?
Hopefully.
It looks like it. I'm looking up something right now. It's like a Dark Souls trilogy collection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was Japan only though. I'm not sure.
Oh, feels
Yeah.
bad, man.
It's got a fun art book, lots of fancy cases, and some bookend stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
see, they had like, yeah.
Mm.
Hey, but we're getting the Dark Souls amiibo.
Yeah, yep. It's like my one wish
There's
is
the
that
sun.
my one wish is that we get to use the Solaire amiibo in Smash Brothers when that comes out.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you know there's a deathmatch mode was added to this Dark Souls what?
I did
Yeah,
not
sorry.
know that. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Battle
weird.
Royale.
It's like a
Souls.
6-player,
Yeah.
3v3 and 6-player deathmatch have been added.
Okay.
An arena chip. I don't know what that means, but that's interesting. Okay.
Battle Royale confirmed.
Oh god. That'd be horrible.
That should be pretty crazy.
Like the Souls netcode is already like bad enough, let alone
Right?
But you drop in as like, what are they called in that game when you start with like nothing?
deprived.
Yeah, you start as like a
Correct.
deprived guy and you
Yeah.
just run around. That actually be pretty, pretty silly actually.
Just a bunch of people running around with clubs beating each other.
Yeah, that's not a
That'd
bad
be
idea.
hilarious.
Actually, not bad.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of recently released games, we reviewed Detroit Become Human.
You did.
We gave
did,
it a-
certainly did.
Yeah. We had a little bit of drama with that. Someone pulled the trigger on it like 2 or 3 hours early, but
Oh man.
whatever. I think I'm not naming.
It wasn't me.
No, I legitimately don't know who did it. So yeah,
No,
I never
the
looked.
problem was it was auto-scheduled.
Okay.
And I think the person who scheduled it did it for their time when the
Didn't realize specific
it
time.
runs off. Yeah, so WordPress runs off EST time,
Oh, okay.
and they did it for I don't know what time zone they did it for, and then it came out like 5 hours early.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful.
Well, you know,
But then
luckily you
other
were there to
reviews-
catch it. You were there to catch it, so it
yeah,
went down real
luckily-
quick.
yeah, well.
Have we done
exactly.
any hate mail about that?
No, not yet. We did for God of War though. Got
Oh.
a couple of death threats for that one.
Because of wait, did we have the same issue with God of War?
No. I think it just means for the score. We gave it
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
score. We have an 8, I believe.
Yeah,
People were like
8.5, I think. But yeah.
8 point.
5.
Yeah. I think it was an 8.5.
Oh, an
Ah,
8.5. Yeah.
8.5. I thought you
Yeah.
said 5.
No.
Okay. And so, Detroit Become Human, the edgy political commentary that the game on the PS4, a la Heavy Rain, in terms of gameplay, we gave it a 9 out of 10 apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so does anyone have any experience with this game yet? That
Nope.
would
I haven't gotten it.
I
either?
have not played it.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with
It's-
David Cage's games.
There is a
It's-
demo though, so if you guys are curious
Alright.
about it, you can check it out on
Okay.
PS. So
Okay. I do know that the
It
game
is-
that shortly before the game's released, our little like general chat in the COG staff Discord had to get changed to accept political topics to
Except politics.
yeah. So
There's some debates going on about that kind of stuff.
okay.
It's generally garnering around the 9-10 area. though. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I think some people though have given it. I think I saw 2 reviews that gave it a 5.
Oh.
I think it just
Um,
depends on the reviewers' own political stances because
exactly.
from what I've seen, they don't have problems with the game itself. It just seems
Yeah.
like the choices of the game, the story beats, the way it handles its political things. I mean, because
Yeah.
depending on what your political affiliation and how you view America, it's going to have a different impact. Because you got to remember, it's a French studio making a
Right.
commentary about America.
Right.
Yeah. True.
And it's
So when I
like,
see
go ahead.
some screenshots where it's like it looks a little heavy-handed on some of these things.
Yeah.
So it looks a little silly. Like, I don't know. I
Okay.
want to get
Yeah.
it, but it looks a little silly on some of these stances. Just like, being
Yeah.
like, what, dude? Like, this is.
Yeah, it's a bit over the top.
Yeah, I mean, right, and that's fine. Like, it's a game. Like, it doesn't need to be this,
Yeah.
end all be all stance on whatever,
Yeah.
racial
As-
injustice. But
It's kind of like acting though. I mean, if you've got someone who's overacting the part, then it's kind of ruins it a little bit.
definitely.
Oh, now I've forgotten. Oh, yeah, it's funny that they actually haven't banned it here, considering they banned a couple of other games recently. But yeah, I think they've fully dropped the whole investigation into it and everything, and it's already out here. EB Games and everything's selling it. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So like, I think this really tests like a reviewer's ability, or like anyone writing about it, to be objective when reviewing a game type thing.
Yeah.
So it's because like I remember I've gone back and read some old like Heavy Rain reviews and everything before the show here, and it's like a lot of people lowered the score just because there were a couple scenes that they were super duper uncomfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though they might have been like matching into the story at some point, et cetera, et cetera. But just because they were personally uncomfortable with it, they lowered the score.
yeah, okay.
I think for a game like that that's so heavy on story oriented as its main selling point, it kind of gets hard to be objective about it just because let's bring up example of the Walking Dead season 1, the Telltale games.
Yeah.
Those games are terrible. In my opinion, they're terrible games. They play terribly, they look terrible, but they have story, they have the emotional impact that people will overlook those flaws because of what the payoff was.
Yeah.
And I think depending on on the story and how much of an impact and what it says, some reviewers are willing to overlook that. But since this one's such a politically charged one, I could see why it went both sides of the spectrum.
Okay. And it's like, it's really hard to judge these sort of games on, gameplay because there's not much to it. Like, I mean, I'd imagine if this is anything like Heavy Rain, it's pretty much just like a quick time event game.
Yeah.
More or less. And so,
what are we in the 90s? No, just kidding.
yeah.
I mean, I loved Heavy Rain, but like Beyond Two Souls was like whatever.
Yeah.
I never finished it. And this one, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm interested, man, but
yeah. And I mean,
It's not very long either, is it? This one, it's only like 4 or 5 hours, I think.
that's it.
no way, really?
No way.
I mean,
I believe.
I want to say Heavy Rain was like at least 10,
Yeah.
and I mean, I guess depends on like what happens to your characters. I don't really know, if they can die or whatever. I'm like, you could probably have a short game if all your dudes die off,
Right. You just kill everything real quick and they're just like, woo.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like, like the robot revolution route or whatever, it gets pretty drawn out. But because you can't judge these games on like gameplay or what have you, it's like it's still possible to objectively evaluate a story. It's like, are the characters like semi well developed, et cetera, et cetera. So it's almost like it's almost like you're reviewing a book. At that point.
Yeah.
I mean, and also like, because it is a video game, they have these elements of like multiple playthroughs and such like that. And is that adding value to the experience, or is one route, way more fun to do than another route? So it's definitely a tricky thing to take on. I'm like, glad I didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
But,
So credit, what was it? John Powell did it for us?
Yeah, that's the one.
He hasn't appeared on the show, although I would like him on the show sometime. But yeah, he wrote up a really great review for COG. He did a good job with it, I thought. So I encourage everyone to go check it out. And then if you played the game,
it was.
If you played the game, come hit us on the community Discord as to whether or not you agree with his score. So, yeah. So this next one, a little bit of kind of hardware for you guys. Reset your router right now. not your modem, but your router. It's usually the thing connected to the modem that gives you Wi-Fi, depending on whether or not your modem provides Wi-Fi, but, what have you. So basically what goes on is that there was this really sneaky piece of malware that infected into your home's router and would basically start, storing some information into the memory and then sending it back to a domain, okay, for nefarious people to view and get. But the FBI, good old American FBI, recently seized the domain, a la Pirate Bay, and they're saying that basically if you reset your router after we've seized this domain, the malware is effectively rendered useless because it does what's called a call home technique, which means every time the router restarts, the malware is going to call the domain, which is now under possession of the FBI, and the router is going to call the domain, so to speak, and it's not going to get a response back, so it's just basically going to deactivate itself. Not the router, but the piece of malware.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
There.
So does that
What's
that apply to other countries or just America?
Yes.
Other countries.
It is possible for it to be international, especially if you visited a website hosted in the U.S. But also, there is a small list of routers that were affected, although they still recommend you to restart your router anyway because they're still investigating the extent of all the routers. It's primarily home office routers, or it's like routers that are more geared towards home office work. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think Andrew went to go reset his router right now. If he drops out of the troll, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, this is the first time I've really heard of the malware getting into a router, so to speak,
Right.
and that's been public.
That's some crazy stuff.
I'm sure it happens a fair amount of time, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just we have a bit of a different system over here as far as modems and everything.
Yeah.
So we don't we've got it. We've got a system called the NBN, which is a brand new system that was rolled out across Australia, which cost $15 billion because they had to put in all these different lines and everything, and it's an absolute failure, as usual. So with ours, just goes straight into the wall, and we've got it's still a router, I suppose you could call it, but they call it a modem. So
there's a difference between a modem and a router.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So, but the weird thing is all Telstra and everything are calling it, oh yeah, it's a modem and blah, 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 but when in actual fact it's a router.
Okay.
So, yeah, they've got their own firewalls and everything set up on their own routers and everything.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I suppose it could still get into Australian routers and whatnot, so.
Yeah, so it's typically how an American home gets set up, or it's by their ISP, is it's usually through a coaxial cable for data. If you get cable internet from Time Warner or Cox or what have you, and then at least most of the time the modems that they provide that directly hook up to the cable also provide some degree of Wi-Fi, but its whole data processing thing really sucks. It has absolutely zero error correction. So what a lot of people do is they attach a router to it so that it does a lot more error correction, provides a more reliable signal, more Wi-Fi range, etc., etc. And so this apparently this piece of malware is capable of bypassing the modem and going straight into the router type thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
Reset your routers, people. Come on.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, all you have to do is just
everybody leaves a call.
I hope that didn't pop up on stream. Okay.
What do you do?
I'm not sure. Okay. No, it was just an email that came through all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's serious all I did, and it might have peered into the screen a little bit. That's it. Okay.
And it did.
Yeah, it did. It did.
It did.
I will view the damage later.
It's nothing major.
Yeah. Anyway, so that about does it for that little router thing. So something bad happened the other day, guys. Are you guys familiar with Total Biscuit?
Nope.
A little bit. Andrew,
I became aware of him during this whole event. Yes.
Okay, Andrew, we cannot hear you.
I just said relatively. I don't know if I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, we didn't hear you again. Anyway,
Oh.
so I primarily got introduced to him back when I don't want to say he was still up and coming, but back when he was still like growing quite a bit, back during the World of Warcraft Cataclysm beta days. And so that's kind of what kind of launched his whole channel forward a little bit more. And it's like I've kept watching him over these years, and it's like I primarily know him through both the WoW and StarCraft communities and everything. But John Total Biscuit Bane passed away after a multi-year fight with terminal cancer.
That sucks.
Yeah. So rest in peace, man.
Yep.
He did a lot for the gaming community, just no matter which one you're a part of. Like literally every like gaming related sub to some way was related, like had a thing up for him because he impacted the game to some significant degree.
Okay.
So yeah, pretty sad about this whole thing actually, to be honest. Hopefully, hopefully his wife Jenna is able to fill his place on the co-optional podcast that he does with Jesse Cotts and Dodger. So yeah, that's what he wanted her to do. So hopefully she can do it.
Yep, definitely.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, anyone else got any words to say or no?
Can't really say so. I didn't really know him, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I've only heard his name. Like, I think he was nominated for one of the video game awards one of the years, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But that was the only time I ever heard of him, to be honest. I guess I just wasn't in those same circles where his name got mentioned.
Okay.
I only heard of him when this whole thing was announced. So.
Oh, okay. Andrew, how about you?
Yeah, he's definitely been. I mean, he's kind of like a legend in the industry. His name's been around forever.
Yeah.
He's only 33, so really unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
Timing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's done a lot for tons of communities, and as a critic, always taking things, very seriously and breaking things down, excellent ways. Always kind of meticulous, about his videos and such like that. So, it is sad to see such a prominent and like, I don't want to say historic, but like, very prominent game reviewer just kind of go, before he's ready, and cancer sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And the one takeaway message that he's got is basically it's like, if you think there might be something wrong, don't wait to get yourself checked.
Sure.
Of course, yeah.
What ended up being his issue was that, so he had colon cancer, I believe, was the specific one. And
Okay.
he had dealt with symptoms of colon cancer, which he noticed, almost right away type thing, but never bothered to get it checked out for about a year or so. And it's like by the time he had caught it, it's like the year after it had started, it was terminal, it was, so it was too late.
My family, there is a history of colon cancer, so I always had to make sure I get my stuff checked out. So just to let you know, just two things about colon cancer. One, processed meats, hot dogs, any kind of processed meat. That's a big indicator that you could get colon cancer through that.
Okay.
And just make sure you get yourself checked after, I think, 40. But he got it super young, like super young. These type of cancers don't usually affect anyone until way later in life.
Yeah.
So he had a very rapid progression.
Yeah. For men, a lot of, like, we did quite a bit of cancers after 40. Our chance increases severely. So, there's colon, there's prostate, everything. But, it's not just exclusive to people after 40. There's still a chance for you to get it if you're under 40.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, if you notice things like bloody stools, a change in your diet or toilet habits, make sure you get yourself checked out just to make sure things are okay, because it's better to catch this thing early. So, anyway, we wish the Banes all the best.
Definitely.
Yeah. Moving forward. So, Battlefield 5 got revealed on Wednesday. It's
man.
World War II, damn it.
World War II.
That's all I have to say. The trailer was really underwhelming, in my opinion. I did not like it at all. It was also the first Battlefield trailer we got in a while that did not have the blurb of, like, in-game captured footage. The HUD was overlaid onto the trailer, by the way.
That's what I was wondering
Oh,
because
yeah.
it looked very strange to me. I'm like, this can't be gameplay,
Yeah.
like at all. Like this had to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Apparently, it was scripted based around one of the new modes coming in Battlefield 5. Is going to be like this 4 or 5 player co-op sort of like Spec Ops mode from Modern Warfare 2 days. Brought in,
cool.
Yep.
yeah. Or I think Battlefield 3 had like a similar mission system too, from what I remember. But I forget what it was called. But yeah, this would be like a 4-player kind of like co-op mode type thing. And I guess that's where a bulk, or it's like that's where the trailer setting came from, or like what mode they were kind of showing off.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm glad that
there's. What's up? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying I'm glad that they're adding these co-op modes because now that we're losing a lot of single player and a lot of these, shooter games.
Yeah.
When we like, I'm not the best shooting guy ever. I'm already in my 30s. My FPS skills aren't as sharp as they used to be.
Sure, you're better
So,
than me.
it gives me an alternative to like play something with my friends where it's not restricted to your kill death ratio.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so have we all seen the trailer here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so cool. Then we're all on the same page. That's good. But so we talked last week and a couple weeks ago, or throughout that, I think we were all kind of of the opinion we were really hoping for Vietnam, just because Battlefield's done World War II before. COD World War II just came out. Vietnam hasn't really been done since COD Black Ops, and even that wasn't
exactly.
like straight Vietnam. It was just Cold War.
Kind of a twisted version of it.
Yeah.
Didn't Bad Company 2, if I remember correctly, they had a Vietnam DLC pack?
Yeah,
right?
they
Or
did.
something?
Yeah, they
My
did.
God, that Vietnam DLC pack was so good.
Yeah, and
I
that's,
mean-
that's why I was hoping like DICE would return
Yeah.
to a Vietnam type thing because of how I remember playing
Really?
it. Yeah, but we got World War II, which is fine, I guess. I mean, technically it's a little. They're gonna carry some weapons over from Battlefield 1, so I guess it is technically less work for the animators and whatnot,
That's true.
which makes sense. But so we got quite a bit more details. We know War Stories is coming back,
Yep.
which is the single player mode est, which worked in Battlefield 1, so interesting to see. I guess they'll take a more like Band of Brothers esque thing for.
I didn't really like it, to be honest.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
play it.
Okay,
I mean, it's like a glorified tutorial. It teaches how to fly, teaches you how to
Exactly.
shoot the tank, it teaches you how to snipe, kind of
yeah,
Exactly.
covers the basis.
yeah,
And it kind of like leaves them rather abruptly. Like the people who you play with, for instance, like the Australian guys at the end. You get to the end and then it doesn't really do them justice. It's kind of, oh yeah, they did this and then end of story kind of thing. So if they could kind of flow it into, like make it all come together a little bit, and where they all kind of, their stories intersect, then
Yeah.
they might make it a little bit more appealing to people.
Right.
So and then Operations, the multiplayer mode, is coming back in a big like grand scaled way, which I think is great. I think it's cool. I love that mode in Battlefield 1. And then of course we're given all the classic Battlefield game modes on top of that. So I just hope they balance Rush great from the get-go, because the last couple
Plus Battle Royale.
Oh god. Yeah. I don't think we're actually getting a
haven't-
Battle Royale.
They haven't announced it yet.
Yeah.
They were testing it apparently.
Okay.
Like they were experimenting with it anyway
Okay.
to see if it worked.
I mean, that game is kind of already battle ready for it. Like it's ready to go, but
Yeah.
I guess they just weren't ready to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so there is a huge slew of multiplayer changes, which I think are all for the better, and it's going to take too long to get into all of those, so just trying to glance over it. But, okay, Jat Frads, who's a really popular Battlefield YouTuber, I don't know if any of you guys have heard of him or anything, he did like a 25-minute video after the trailer dropped, because I believe that's when because as soon as the trailer dropped, that's when their NDA was lifted and everything. So he had this video ready to go just as soon as it hit. And this type of thing, and it's like that 25-minute video outlining all of like the changes and things coming in Battlefield 5 for me generated more hype about the game than the trailer did.
Than the trailer itself.
Yeah, than the trailer did, honestly. And okay, there's something to be said, and it has also sparked a little bit of controversy, which I do want to talk about too, the trailer, and that is the role of women on the battlefield.
Right.
Sure.
A lot of people are not necessarily complaining the fact that it's a woman in the trailer or whatever, but more of just like how special
not-
she seems type thing, because she has the prosthetic arm type thing, which a 1940s prosthetic arm, there's really no way you'd be able to control like a recoil or gun effectively the way she did in the trailer.
Yeah.
Sure.
Type thing. And so
Yeah.
I will say in the trailer they were clearly like into this. It was a super video gamey trailer. Like she died in the trailer and then came back to life like seconds later. Like they're clearly like respawning was like part of their narrative or something. Like they're doing. It's not a super realistic time we're having here. Like they're not even trying to pretend it's super realistic when people are just coming back to life.
Right.
A minute
It's
later.
it just feels like a tone piece. The trailer. It's just hype tone trailer.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And so and then there's that issue, and then there also a lot of people have brought up customization issues with like how you can customize the appearance of your character. Sort of like, I guess the best way to liken to would be Halo Reach. You guys remember that customization system?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so it's like, I guess they're breeding that, and one of the issues people are having is like, there's a dude in the European theater and on like the American side having a katana on his back. What? It's like, what is going on?
Oh, right.
Yeah. And it's like, really?
I mean, if
sure.
you think about it, Halo 3 had the Hayabusa armor. I mean, if you think about it, that shouldn't really belong in that type of universe either, but it was actually one of the most sought out armor sets in that multiplayer game.
I wore it. It looks sweet.
I like it when games have fun with it, because I don't think Battlefield has always treated itself too seriously. Like if you're talking about the PC versions, like 1949 or 1943, those were really like super serious Battlefield games. But even to me, the series started diverging from that with the Bad Company games. To me, that's when it started going more video gamey. Hey, let's add all these cool little aspects to the game.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, they kind of need to not take themselves too seriously. And sure, they can do certain games that are very historically accurate, but I think that the Bad Company games were kind of directed at a less accurate kind of audience, I suppose you could say. But if they're dealing with World War II and particularly World War One, I mean, sure, in Bad Company, it wasn't accurate at all. Like, it didn't happen. Obviously Vietnam happened and everything, but these kind of battles didn't really happen. But if they're dealing with World War II and D-Day and all that kind of stuff, they kind of need to keep it along the lines of accurate. And as I was reading something on Facebook the other day, this guy was in the army and he had one of his hands blown off, funnily enough, and he had a prosthetic arm. And then he saw the trailer and he's like, that's not going to work. And sure, it is a game, and sure, women are in World War II, but I mean, is it going to be where women are kind of the resistance? Because that was the only area in World War II where women were kind of fighters, I suppose you would say. Sure, they were back on the back line and in the offices and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not saying that women don't need to be in the battlefield or anything, I'm just saying that that's the way it was. So I kind of think that they need to kind of step back, and it depends how they do it, really, and they haven't really announced how they're going to incorporate all these different elements.
I think it's kind of hard to judge the role of women in the Battlefield, in this upcoming Battlefield game, as well as the particular woman shown off in the trailer, without playing the full game, because a lot of content creators centric in the Battlefield community have said it's like, this trailer is horrible. It's like, I don't know how DICE produced this type thing, but the trailer is horrible. So
I think there's two ways you can think about it. Okay, one, I know people are glad that we're going back to World War II and these more older times, because everything had gone super modern, super futuristic. But you can't be just retreading the same things all the time either, because there was a reason why we stopped doing those games. There was a reason that there was fatigue back then, and I think they're just going to try to have more fun with it. And the second point I want to bring up is Battlefront 2, where even EA themselves told we can't do cosmetics, nobody wants to play as a pink Darth Vader, where if you keep it too restricted to a certain model, to a certain aesthetic and looks, then you make excuses saying like, we can't do this, we can't do that. So and it also limits your scope, it limits your options for cosmetic items or weapons, whatever have you. And look at them now they're offering cosmetic armors and different skins for heroes and characters. So everything they had said previously was just bullshit. I'm sorry if I'm not supposed to be cursed, but
it's chill.
It's all just poop, like they just ended up just going back on their word. So I'm glad they kind of took this trailer and they made the female soldier as the main front of this trailer, because I think they know that it's gonna piss off people. So rather to get this news out front in the front first, and they're gonna look at the actual gameplay, and you're gonna realize, you know what, this game might look awesome, but obviously we'll know more after E3 or something.
Yeah, and it's like I have absolutely no problem, with like women on like Battlefield games or whatever, right? I just think they need to be done properly to some degree of historical accuracy. It might we don't know the context of this lady either. It might turns out she is like a French resistance fighter or something, as would be accurate or whatever. Although she did sound British in the trailer, but then again, Battlefield never had really the greatest accents, especially between French and English.
No,
so.
she was definitely British. Some of the stuff that she said was definitely 100% British.
Then maybe we'll see what the excuse is for it. Either way, I think, it's like I'm excited for this game because, I mean, I'm a semi-decent fan of Battlefield. I still play 4 and 1 a little bit with some friends. It's fun. And I really like all the gameplay changes coming. And it's like, from a gameplay perspective, the one issue I have with the cosmetics is that I need them to really refine it so that we don't lose the class identification.
Right.
And whatnot. Because from, like, the splash screens that were shown and everything, it's really hard to distinguish between the classes, it seems like. Yeah. It's like, we look at Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, it's easy to see who's who, but yeah.
Cosmetics is so important because it gives you as a player a sort of agency over your multiplayer avatar, and if you don't do it right and everything's just loot boxes, then it doesn't feel like it's earned, but if everything's also earned but stuck to high rank levels that people never get, and eventually, I don't remember correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Battlefield 4, after a certain amount of time, you could buy all the upgrades for a certain class, right?
You could.
I think there was like an all-in-one purchase. Right. So they, they have to just be careful about how they approach it. But I'm excited to, I love customizing my character. I mean, I think that's one of the main problems that Destiny 2 has right now, where like a lot of the armor and a lot of the way you look just looks like poop. Like it
people
just
still play that game?
I play it here and there, but it's like
They just had an expansion pack for that game.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I played it, did my campaign, out.
Okay, I'm outie, But and then let's see, the last little thing I do want to, or two actually last little things I want to touch on. We've gotten some confirmed like map locations. None of them are in the Pacific Theater.
I mean,
and I mean, that's really depressing, actually. It's like, I really wanted to see, Pacific Theater stuff. But it's like, we got 2 locations in Africa, and then a slew of locations across Europe.
Sure.
Okay. Are they going to reuse any maps from Battlefield 1? Because I personally didn't play Battlefield 1. I did try it out during EA Plays event last year when I was able to go.
Yeah.
And it looked really fun, but I don't know if they're retrading a lot of those same content for this upcoming one.
I don't believe so. No.
I assume they were not going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that is kind of what they did with Battlefield 1 as well. Like I think they're mainly focusing Europe, and then in like the last level, that was in Africa as well. So
we got places. We got not in World War One. It's like a lot of the fighting took place, sort of more Middle Eastern, because you had the Ottoman Empire type thing, and that's how we got like the desert map, like the C9 desert map and everything in Battlefield 1. Not a whole lot really took place in Africa.
It did a little bit.
Yeah. Or at least not enough that they felt the need to focus on it,
All you got to do is watch Indiana Jones for that.
Okay.
I mean, they could even put in Australia because Adelaide was bombed by the Japanese in World War II, and it was partially invaded as well. So they could have done an Australian map. We don't fully know what they're going to do, but it would be cool to see a bit of a different track kind of thing.
And I guess that is important to keep in mind too. You brought up a fair point. Battlefield 1 focused on like the Western Front, and it's like when the DLC pack released in September of or like August, September of 2017 or so, and the name of the Tsar was the Russian focused one.
That trailer looked really cool.
Yeah.
When they released that.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't, like I said, they don't retread Battlefield 1 maps unless they're popular. Of course, people are always gonna want the more popular maps, but again, let me bringing up Battlefront 2 again. With the solo mode coming out, they released the Jabba the Hutt Palace map, and people are complaining that it's literally just a reskin of the one from from Battlefront 1.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. And then the last little blurb I want to pick out here is the business model for Battlefield 5 here, and that is no season pass.
Yes.
Off to a great start. And I guess no loot boxes, apparently.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's great for everyone.
I love how they're like, hey, guess what? We have no season pass. Yeah, guys. You guys are the ones who put that in the first place.
I know.
Right? Now you're just taking it back.
I know.
Exactly.
It's
Why
horrible.
he spearheaded that?
Well, I don't understand like why they're trying to build this hype around something that they it's silly. To me.
That they invented.
Yeah, like they did this to themselves, and then they're like, no, we're listening to you guys, and then they're taking it away, and then like 2 years down the line, they're gonna do it again or
Probably,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I mean, it makes sense because now you're not gonna divide your player base, and
Right.
we don't know how well this game is gonna do, and there's tons of other games out right now that are really competitive shooters. So
Yeah.
if they're not the biggest game in the market, and then they're splitting it with the pass, then they're kind of screwing themselves over.
Mm-hmm.
Have we heard if there's going to be any kind of crossplay between consoles and PC?
No, we
Because
have
I've
not.
noticed a lot of games are trying to do that right now.
I'm assuming not.
No,
Okay.
I doubt it.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe PC and like PS4.
If anything, it would be between consoles. That's the thing.
Sorry.
If anything, it would be between consoles.
I don't know, because usually like if you look at Battlefield, they were really branded by Xbox, right? And then like you got
This
Call
one
of
is
Duty.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Battlefield is branded by Xbox, and Call of
yeah.
Duty has a PS4 4 brand behind him.
Yeah.
So like
They've
I
kind
don't
of
know, like
switched.
a marketing. Yeah, they did switch, I think,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the marketing is, oh no, we have Xbox all over this, and we're not gonna let you.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe
know?
PC, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Xbox One games can be played on PC, so it's
Yeah.
probably easier for them to do PC and Xbox. But then it's unfair. It's unfair because people have got mouse and keyboard and they're absolutely killing controller people. By the way, I'm not one of them.
yeah, a lot of people don't care though. Look at Fortnite. People just want to play with their friends, like
Yeah.
no matter where they are, and like, hey, you got to opt into it. Like, hey, you're going to be in the PC lobby because you're playing with a PC dude.
Right.
He's like, yeah, sure, I don't care. Like, I'll die.
I mean, like in
whatever.
Fortnite,
Yeah.
like having a mouse and keyboard versus a controller isn't as like crippling if you have the controller, because like
Right.
the way that all of Fortnite's hit detection stuff works.
So many macros though, like when it comes to building and
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
like
for
that
sure.
in Fortnite,
for
that I
sure.
feel like pretty massive advantage.
I'm playing Fortnite on the PC and with all my friends on Xbox One, and it's still good. It's still fun. I haven't done any of those macros though. I honestly just want to shoot. I don't want to deal with the build. I'm getting too old to learn all these new techniques.
I'm
Yeah.
too old for this.
I'm with you. Like, I just something about the building that I can't hate.
I just want to shoot.
It's like, all right. So this isn't in the topics list, but this is actually kind of important. Sorry about this. This came to mind now that we talked about Fortnite. Epic Games is injecting $100 million into Fortnite's non-existent esports scene.
That's right.
What? That is
Yep.
insane.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money,
I'll like my only thoughts on this is like, why though?
right? There isn't a scene established yet.
Yeah,
I
they don't
mean,
even have a
we
mode
know
worked
it's
out for it yet. You know.
Yeah, we know it's a very popular game to stream. Lots of people are playing that game right now, streaming, celebrities, all that stuff. But we haven't seen a competitive aspect to it yet. I know PUBG tried to go really hard with the whole competitive scene, and then all you ever saw on stream was people cheating and then shooting stuff through walls. Ruining that kind of
Yeah.
aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Or running away for the whole game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that they are trying to figure out their competitive stuff. I think right now, I know at E3 they have like a celebrity tournament, like a
Oh boy.
pro-am or whatever you want to call it. Like
Okay.
some streamer is going to be with some celebrity or something, and
Okay.
they're going to play. I don't know how it's going to work, but it's interesting nonetheless to see what they're trying to do.
Yeah. I guess they finally had its first like bad update for the game.
Oh,
What
really?
was it?
They added a jetpack, I guess, and it's pretty like
Did see some of that.
yeah, it's pretty OP.
Unfair.
That sucks. I haven't played it since that update. I played it when Thanos was out, and that was a fun game mode.
Okay. And then also I'm going to bump this topic up also because we were talking about cross-platform play here. Overwatch is reconsidering cross-platform play.
Yes.
At least between...
I honestly like this because I have so many friends across different consoles, and it'd be great to play with all of them. It brings Fortnite, not Fortnite. I mean, Overwatch is a game that's based on a team, and just having your friends there really helps out, you know?
I think Anthony died.
Oh.
No, I'm still here.
Oh.
I'll have a look at me room. I think it's taking a dump.
Go reset it. No.
It's being a little funky for me right now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's good. It's not my room.
Okay, thanks, Discord.
Everyone froze for me.
Can we all still hear each other at least?
I can hear you.
Okay, Kevin?
I hear everyone like robotically though. You know, like kind of a little stutter.
So,
Yeah, okay.
But hopefully it'll fix itself.
You know what? We're just gonna keep rolling. Okay. So at least between consoles, cross-platform between Xbox and PS4.
Right.
Interesting.
They're still considering all the balance issues around mouse and keyboard versus controller.
Is there any way to increase aim assist for consoles to, I don't know, match them to that level of PC players?
I mean, that's...
Can I just interrupt for a second? Can everyone hear me still?
Yes, what's up?
It's saying that my call's disconnected, so I don't know what's going on.
Okay, well, you're here.
Cool. Good to know.
Just keep rolling. Roll with it.
But yeah, I mean, I guess maybe all that Blizzard money is gonna have, Sony and Microsoft working together, I guess. But
yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they do with PC and everything as well.
Because they have the Overwatch League, which is still pretty big, I want to say.
If you're into Overwatch, I hear Overwatch League is pretty cool to watch.
Okay.
It's just the only issue. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I've been watching it. I think the production value is really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
They do hype the matches. The only problem with the league is that a lot of the matches are very one-sided. You can really easily tell who's going to win. Okay. But it's just fun to have a face and a team and a city to go along with your characters. Like, I live in Los Angeles. I have the LA Valiants and the LA LA Gladiators, sorry.
Okay.
Because we have two teams. Again, LA always has two teams. And it's just fun to root for them because it's tied to a physical location. Like, it's tied to over here.
Yeah.
And it's just fun. And I think it brings a fun dynamic that I don't think other esports games do. Like, I know Dota 2 is a big esport league tournament thing, but you have the Chinese Cup, the North American Cup, and the European Cup when it comes to that. But it's not like, hey, we have a team from your location competing in this event. It brings a sort of like just a camaraderie when you know that you're cheering for the team that's closest to you.
Okay. Yeah. The one issue that I have heard with the Overwatch esports scene is that it does seem kind of forced.
Yeah.
In terms of but other than that, no issues if you're into it. So
I think it's because they have so much NFL money into it. If you look, a lot of the owners who have their money invested in the Overwatch sports league, it's a lot of people who traditionally go with regular physical sports like baseball, MLB, NFL, and hockey. Like, a lot of those same investors are the ones putting the money in. So I think they want to push this as hard as they can. They don't want it to fizzle out like all other kinds of scenes.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. That's fair. And to go on to your whole thing about aim assist, I mean, yeah, they could, but then, like, you run in... I don't want to talk about the horrors of aim assist. It's like...
No, I know. I don't know what the specifics are to code something like that, but we might start seeing less first-person shooters and more third-person shooters, because I think that aspect of being able to play anywhere, no matter what device you have, is going to catch on, because then you just open your player base to a much bigger audience.
Yeah.
And the bigger the audience, the more money and cash flows you're going to get.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, money is what talks. That's what decides what games get updates so frequently, or, that's what decides a lot of the stuff. And I'm all for it, just not for everything. Like, there could be certain games that are who are specifically for that, and then you have other games developed with that in mind. But personally, I just love playing with my friends. Even if we are at a disadvantage, I don't care. It's always just way more fun with friends. Yeah. And again, like, at my age, everyone has kids or has families or work. They can't afford to buy a PC. They can't afford to buy every console. Yeah. So they're gonna stick to their main device.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, Anthony, got anything you want to add?
I'm not into esports. I don't watch them. I
Okay.
don't even think Australia has a team, so I'm good.
Okay, Andrew, final.
I mean, Overwatch is interesting. I don't know too many people that I follow that play it still, so
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how this is going.
Yeah. I will probably get back into playing Overwatch as soon as the Symmetra rework hits. Because I literally stopped playing that game because of her.
They don't have that. When was the last time they had a new character to that game?
It was
They added
Bridget.
Moira, right?
No, it was Bridget a couple months
Oh,
ago.
right.
Yeah.
She's like
She's like
SMG. SMG.
No,
no,
that
she's
was,
like a miniature version of Reinhardt.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, right. All right.
And you're thinking of Sombra though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I stopped playing after the Doomfist update, so I haven't seen those. I haven't played those two characters yet.
Okay.
Actually, I stopped playing right as Doomfist got released. I think I ran out of Xbox Live. That's
Oh.
that was the reason I stopped playing.
Feels bad. All right. So anyway, let's talk about the PlayStation 5 again. Sony recently announced that the PS4 is at the end of its life cycle, and that caused the rumor mill to just churn and churn and churn really hard. And
God, all those clickbaity articles. You know that they were gonna, twist those words.
yeah, and they said that they're gonna. It looks like they're gonna take the next 3 years or so to leap to the PS5.
I'm just gonna say something that I think is a big sentiment across a lot of podcasts and other type of video game personalities and critics.
Yeah.
I don't feel like my PS4 is that old, to be honest. It feels like this generation feels really good. Like I understand during the PS3 and 360 generation, especially in America, the whole economic collapse, the bubble had crashed. People didn't have money anyways to be able to afford new stuff at the time. So we had such a long generation between. That was an 8-year cycle, and even though it still feels like I just bought my PS4 and Xbox Ones like a couple years ago. It doesn't feel that long to me, but I'm always ready for new hardware. But the problem is also like how far are those graphics going to be pushed? Because it looks really good now. The only thing I could see them doing is just making them more compatible with 4K TVs and HDR. Yeah. But in my life and the people I know, no one has a 4K TV. Like it's still not as common, at least not in my circles. Yeah. I know people are starting to buy more 4K TVs, and they are getting way more affordable. You can buy a really good, decent 4K TV for less than $1,000 now. And if you wait for holiday specials or Black Friday, you can get one easily for $600. Yeah. So it's gonna get here. I'm just so within those 3 years, we'll most likely have 4K TVs as the main standard for television sets,
or at least more sort of a standard type thing.
Yeah,
it's also really hard to describe how immense the leap, because so PS3, Xbox 360, etc. came out like 2006-ish, right?
Yeah.
We saw the PS4, Xbox One in 2013. It's really hard to describe the leap in like affordable but powerful computing in those 7 years there. So yeah, that's a big part.
But when you do go play those old 360 games on, I don't have the Xbox One X, but I do just have a regular Xbox One, the big one, the launch day Xbox Ones. Yeah. And when you play those 360 games, they look rough. And again, nostalgia, right? Like the games look a lot better in your memories than what they do when you go back and play them.
And so, go ahead.
It's a bit of a hard one. Like I was speculating that the PS5 was going to be out next year, but apparently not.
I was hoping for an E3 reveal.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, for the Xbox One, this is like the same argument that I had 2 or 3 weeks ago. They need to do something quite radical, in my opinion, because they're not doing anything. Then they don't have first-party titles coming out. Great, they've got Crackdown. They don't really have they're kind of going back to where they were before they released the console, where it's a family console kind of thing. It's an entertainment hub, I suppose you could say. But they're not really selling it, and the PS4 is absolutely killing it, and they've just bought out Detroit Become Human, which has now got really good reviews and everything. Yeah. So I think it'd be more logical to see a new Xbox system coming out before a PlayStation system, I think.
Gears and Halo ain't selling like they used to.
Nope.
Exactly. And Halo is not coming out next year? No, not this year. I mean.
We'll see what E3 has. when the
Yeah.
few like leaked.
I think they might launch the next one with Halo. To be honest, I think that'd be a good call. But
God.
you're
I mean-
making Halo stay away from the public light for too long. People are gonna forget about it. It's already a franchise that's having trouble already as is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
keeping itself relevant to a gaming society. You know.
Well, they got
And-
more than like 6 games, right? And
Mhm.
once
Yeah.
you start getting those
They-
numbers that high, it starts to, you know,
They
what
got
are you doing
8,
anyway?
don't they?
You got to change something. Is it that many? They have like 8.
Well, you
I
got
think it's 8.
Halo Wars 2,
8 what?
Wow.
8 what?
and also
Reach
what's the one?
ODST.
Region
Yeah,
OST
So there
plus
was Halo,
5,
Halo
so
2,
it's
Halo
7.
3, ODST, which I love by the way. There
I
was
love ODST.
Yeah, ODST had no right to be as good as it was. Halo
Yeah.
Mythic Edition, if you wanted to count that, but that's not really. So and no, we'll not
Wait,
count
you
that.
mean Master Chief Collection?
No, I mean the Mythic Edition. Yeah.
Okay.
But okay, so there's the 4 there, and then we got Reach, and then Rip Bungie, and then we got
Yeah.
4, and then 5, and
Yeah,
then
and
we
then
got
2
the
Halo War games.
yeah 2 Halo War games, and then Master
2
Chief
mobile
Collection.
games, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
And then 2 Master Chief Collection, and then Master Chief Collection. So
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
total.
And then a rework of 1.
Is that?
Oh, yeah.
Is that in the Master Chief Collection?
Yeah.
Probably.
No,
Okay.
that was in the 360 era. The
The
Halo
anniversary,
the
yeah.
remastered version.
Oh,
Yeah,
Halo
that's-
Anniversary. That's right. So that's like 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, now they're bringing out a Halo Arcade, whatever the heck that is.
Okay.
I'm going to Dave and Buster's and go try that out.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna hit it up right now. Saturday night, boys.
But that's kind of sad though. Like they're putting it in Dave and Buster's. It's kind of cheapening the brand a little bit. Like I've
Yeah,
heard
it
that
is.
some, you know, it was like ooh, like
Next up,
This is a
Halo
precursor.
Pachinko machines.
damn you Konami, damn you
Damn
Konami, your
Yeah.
pachinko machines.
Yeah.
They're kind of going along the line of what Assassin's Creed was doing with regard
Oh,
to
yeah.
they were kind of releasing a game every year. They weren't very good,
Mhm.
and then they stopped for 2 years and brought out Origins, which was great. So I think they need to kind of take a break
Okay.
from the Halo
And then-
universe.
But I mean,
And then all the 3DS games, PS Vita games,
Yeah,
mobile phone
exactly.
games, comic books. You know, like that's.
just flood the industry.
Halo
Right.
5 released what? 2015 or 2016? Do we know?
I don't remember.
15.
15, I think. Yeah.
2015. Then
Yeah.
like if we assume that Sony, it's like if we judge the metric that Xbox will release the next console with the PS5, so 3 years. I mean that's gonna be 6 years.
Before you-
yeah, it's gonna be a 6-year gap between the Halo games,
Yeah.
which is unprecedented. Like
And
Halo.
you run
What's
into
up?
the issue. So you run into the issue of not having your trilogy on the same platform,
Yeah.
Right.
which is kind of a problem.
Well, I mean that's what happened to the original trilogy, also, and
Did
then
it?
like yeah, it did.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, and then it's like, but even the leap from Halo 2 on the original Xbox and PC,
Yeah.
and to Halo 3 on the Xbox
Huge.
360 was only like 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, but like the jump was huge in like quality.
Yeah, it was.
I think.
It was.
I don't know if that's going to be the same
Uh-huh.
deal because of where we're just at graphically now and how those games have kind of established themselves as what they are.
Yeah. And I mean, and is Halo still in good enough graces for people to be able to launch a console?
No,
I think
I
we
don't.
might be surprised, but
Okay.
I think they'll do it anyway.
Okay.
yeah, I think the people who are into Halo are probably a little older and the people with money.
Yeah.
Right.
So
By
I
this
think
point, yeah.
yeah, so I definitely think there is that, like, you know, that the target audience is the people who are gonna go out in droves and buy this stuff.
Immediately.
Right.
Okay.
But they're gonna be a whole generation is gonna be like, I played Halo whatever 5 and it was fine.
I know specifically for Gears of War, they have brand new characters. A lot of new people started off this new Gears of War 4. This was their first Gears of War, and it was a perfect entry because
Okay.
new characters, you necessarily don't need to know what Gears of War was about.
Yeah.
Just you can play this one, but Halo has not rebooted itself. It's still
Yeah.
it's still Master Chief doing
Yeah.
all these things. So like if you have no history with him, you're not going to relate as much.
And
Right.
who cares about Mr. Halo? Like, he's not
Yeah.
even like an interesting character.
Mr. Halo.
He's grandpa in the corner saying, "Hey, you damn kid! You know, I remember my kill death ratio was this big."
Yeah. And also, Halo Legends was really good. The animated
Sounds-
stuff that they did.
Oh, that was
Oh,
really good.
okay.
That was really good. Yeah.
I think they're kind of just gonna fill a gap. I think
Okay.
they're just gonna do more mobile games, more like Halo Wars stuff. They might do an ODST kind of like half release kind of thing.
Ples.
Hey,
No, I want one.
I mean, they're just going to I think they're just going to, so kind of like until the Xbox, what are we going to say? 2 comes out, or Xbox 6,
Yeah.
or
Xbox 720.
720, exactly. No, 4K this time. Until that comes out, then I think they're just going to kind of not going to release a major title until then. They're just going to kind of like fill a gap.
Just kind of bide their time until.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it kind of doesn't make sense for them to release. I mean, we're already way too late into the life cycle if we're going to start getting a PS5 in 3 years, right? That you're going to have to assume that either Xbox is going to come out first, because they're not going to come out after. Right. They need to win back the gamers. So that means you might see 2 years. We might be seeing 2 years until the next Xbox. But the point is, that's already too late to build new IP, to set people up for it. You rather save those resources and those new IPs or any of those new ideas for the next consoles. We've already seen so many. Sea of Thieves did not light the world on fire at all. It really fell flat on its face, which is disappointing because I am a guy who loves pirates, and ever since Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, I've been looking for another venue to play as a pirate, and we still haven't gotten that. And that's why you see Skull and Bones. I think within this month, they announced that they're pushing back the date for the release date of Skull and Bones till next year, which I think is a great call because look at the content that Sea of Thieves tried to provide it, and it wasn't enough.
And it failed. It failed horribly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If they kind of wait for a bit, then people are going to be like, oh yeah, Sea of Thieves has been and gone. Yeah, we might try another pirate game rather than being, no, I'm not going to waste $60 or 110 over here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't find it unreasonable that the PS5 comes out in 3 years. You know, we've had a lot of great games. My launch PS4 sounds like a jet engine. Sometimes. I'm afraid it's gonna die. So yeah, like when a new one comes along, I don't know if I'll get it right away. Yeah. But it's definitely one of those things that I could see possible in 3 years. And I hope people aren't going to be too, upset about that, because I think it's coming in about time where I think 4K needs to be like the standard.
Right.
You're able to get TVs for like 300 and something, like 350 for like a 49-inch 4K TV with HDR, which is, I mean, it's expensive. Don't get me wrong. $300 and some odd dollars is not, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, if you can't afford that, or you're looking for a new TV, like that's what you should do.
Right. Probably. It's like you're gonna need a 4K TV now,
Yeah, like no one's buying. I mean, not too many people are gonna buy a 1080 TV nowadays. I feel like, or they probably shouldn't. Right. If you're gonna spend that much money on a 4K 1080p TV, just take that extra leap of $100.
A lot of locations right now are starting to. You can't buy a 1080p HD TV anymore. Like a lot of stores and locations already phased them out. Now everything's 4K.
Exactly, right. So like, I think it's time. It's gonna be in 3 years for sure. Gonna be mostly everything's 4K.
Yeah, it's gonna be close to the new standard now.
So I definitely think, and if these consoles can deliver of an affordable machine that can play 4K stuff, they need to pounce on it, because when it comes to like gaming PCs, that stuff's still really expensive to get a graphics card that can run 4K.
Yeah.
Then get the matching monitor, get the processor. You have to line everything up perfectly to be able to do that.
We're really close though. We're close.
We're close.
Yeah.
We're close.
Wait for the 1100 series.
But if these consoles can just put these things out, they work with 4K TVs, they work well, they run well enough. That'll be such a good gold mine. And if they can get the 4K like TV content or streaming content as well to work well, I think it's definitely time. If they're able to do that in 3 years, it's perfect time. Perfect time.
Right.
So as you said about the PC stuff, we just had someone in the Twitch comments say, make the PlayStation and/or Xbox exchangeable like a PC. When something gets old, get a new part.
Yeah,
I mean we're kind of leaning towards that one actually, because at least with the PS4 and Xbox One X, I had the swappable hard drives.
Right.
That weren't proprietary.
True.
So, yeah.
That's good.
And
step in the right direction.
Before that happens, it's going to be like phone style, where it's like, you can get the next year's model. You get the PlayStation 2019, and that's slightly better.
Yeah.
You know, and GameStop's still going to take those trade-ins. Best Buy's still going to take those trade-ins. You know, so
There's also
those possibilities are probably going to happen.
One big
Pay
issue.
$2,000 for an iPhone.
Oh god, feels bad, man. One issue it's like with that actually is we have to consider form factor here. People are used to a home console form factor now. If it's like they were to put one as a PC as directly assembled, so you know we have like the graphics card sticking out the side of the motherboard or whatever. You flip that 90 degrees and everything, and you know the graphics card is sticking up. So like that's a little bit taller than what we're used to if they have it like that, you know.
Right.
So it's a little bit taller. So a lot of times what we see is like how they do gaming laptops is that they solder usually a mobile GPU into the motherboard, and there's no way to replace it without replacing the motherboard.
Yeah.
So that's how most of them come together.
I mean, we're already seeing their like Sony and Nintendo are already changing their warranties around a little bit.
Right.
So you can already kind of modify your console if you want to without voiding the warranty, or fix it if you have a problem with it. So we might see it.
That was the thing where you're saying it was like last week or 2 weeks ago that they have to reformat all their like wording on that.
Yeah.
That sticker is like breaking some kind of law. I'm not sure, or constitutional right or something. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
This is a trade commission. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a trade commission regulation.
Yeah.
That got passed, yeah.
I have 2 questions I want to pose to you guys. Okay.
Yeah,
should anyone buy a PS4 Pro now?
I mean,
knowing that.
I think I think so. If you
bought one,
want
like,
to
4
play
months ago.
PS4 games,
Yeah.
buy PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, second one. I remember a little while back, I don't remember when exactly the year, but when Valve was trying to maybe test the waters for a console market, they wanted to make a modular console, something that you could have at home, and somehow you slot in a new graphics card, whatever, right?
Well, so that was the whole Steam machine, and it was basically
Steam
Valve
Link.
putting their name behind brands like that do pre-built PCs. And I mean, so it's like the only difference between like a pre-built PC and like a one that you build yourself or whatever is just who's assembling it and maybe some like branding on the case or whatever.
Right.
That's the only difference.
And
It's like
were Steam machines small? Or were they not?
I mean, they were designed. So it's like we have the form called mini ITX in the PC world,
Right.
and it's like that's normal for your like home console range and everything.
okay.
And so what the Steam machines were was a bunch of like mini ITX form factor PCs that basically were produced by pre-built people. You know, so like your iBuyPower, your Alienwares, etc. And all really Valve did was provide them distribution rights to the whole Steam OS thing, and put their name on it, and that's pretty much it. And that's also part of the reason why the Steam machine failed, because you're getting an overpriced, relatively underpowered PC with an OS that not every single game works on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. But if you were to theoretically get a Steam machine, providing that the parts fit into the case, you'd be able to swap out stuff.
Right. That's the problem you might run into. These 1080s are massive for the most part. And even my 1060 that I just got, I looked at it when I got in the box. I was like, oh man, I hope this can fit. I didn't even measure anything. Like,
So yeah, that's kind of the answer to that one. All right. So let's talk about retro. Kind of retro-ish. Nintendo is exploring. Nintendo is exploring an N64 classic.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Totally.
Got you back in.
Okay, actually, deal me in. Okay. Yeah, we're doing.
Does every game that's included in this hypothetical console have to have 64 in the title?
Right.
I hope to God not.
We mean like Quest 64 in there.
Okay.
Donkey Kong 64 confirmed.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. We have little to no details about it outside of a patent and trademark filed with the Japanese, government. So, yeah.
So this could be nothing, or it could be
something.
Something.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Let's have some fun. I want to see Ocarina of Time, GoldenEye. Let's see what else.
Donkey Kong 64.
Sure, let's go with that. Mario 64.
Give me some Glover in there.
Majora's
64.
Majora's Mask, Star Fox. Yeah.
The problem I've been hearing a lot from a lot of these really good N64 games is licensing issues. like
Yeah.
Perfect Dark,
Rare.
Microsoft, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Rare. You know, like there might be a lot of issues. Castlevania 64, which I've never personally played, but I've heard
Bad.
nothing but great things. Really, I heard people really like it.
The worst Castlevania game.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
okay.
it is.
So bad. Don't play Castlevania.
Okay, but the point is that there is a lot of games that are not owned by Nintendo, and unlike the Super Nintendo and NES eras, these are even harder licenses to get. I mean, it's not impossible. It's Nintendo. They have Nintendo money, you know. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be able to. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'd be able to get it, but it might be a little bit harder.
Yeah, I mean,
I also think that would work out because these games are old and they're not. Most of these companies aren't making money on these IPs anymore, like Conquer or some random game that exists still.
Yeah.
Hey, it's an easy way for this company to make a few bucks off this thing they're never going to use again.
Ever again.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a possibility that we see things like Body Harvest, which is like a Rockstar game.
Oh yeah.
Weird stuff like that.
StarCraft 64.
I was gonna bring that up, but I would get slightly triggered. Yeah.
I think they're going to have trouble, as you said, Kevin. They're going to have issues with licensing and all that. And most good Nintendo 64 games were done by Rare or someone like that. So, and the problem is Rare's owned by Microsoft now. So it's going to be a hard one. I really hope they do it, but it's going to be difficult for them to put stuff on it.
Yeah, it is.
And as a guy said that I was reading about on Facebook, he said he's got a couple of people who he knows who deal with Nintendo quite a bit. They're thinking about just putting 10 games on it rather than the average 20 or so, because they might not have 20 games to put on it.
I mean, they definitely could get 20 games, but if this is a machine that hooks up to your TV via HDMI, not too expensive. It's just, let's say there is 10 games, costs $60. And it's like 10 of these all-time classic games, and I can just plug it in my TV and go. It's like,
I'd buy it.
Of course. Like, I would buy
I'd buy it.
Especially because you can just get Mario Kart 64, boom.
Yeah, so many hours out of that.
Right there. Yeah.
Mario Party.
Well, let's not go that far, but...
Mario Golf, yes.
Yeah, Mario Golf, great game.
Mario Golf, okay.
I have my mini SNES, and I love it. It's a great system.
Okay.
And let's be honest, like if you wanted to get more games on it, there are ways to get more games on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even then, I think people will still buy it just because of the the nostalgia factor. They could sell more controllers with the see-through plastic and all that stuff.
Hell yeah! I've seen some awesome Switch mods that do that with the see-through plastic. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Can't think of a worse controller, to be honest.
Oh, it's terrible.
I was not fond of it when I was little. I was like, I remember McDonald's would have, the
yes.
little station we could play, and I'm like, that was my first interaction with the N64, and I was like, wait, how do you hold it? Is it like this right here? It's like
this controller is.
How do you do this?
It's dependent on what buttons you need to hit at the time.
My brother used to actually play with it upside down. And that was like he used to hold it fully on its side, and because he knew how to hold it, but that was just the way he would hold it, which is really weird.
Okay. The N64 feels like the only controller that really like strayed away from like a modern, I won't say modern, traditional design. I mean, obviously we had the Nintendo, the Wii that had a very different control scheme too, with the joystick analog and the Wiimote.
Yeah.
I know this isn't the best version of the game, but if I could just get Blitz hooked up to my TV, like in a snap.
It's like, I'm down. I'm down.
Such a easy buy for me, man. I love Blitz, and I still, the reason I have my N64 out in my living room is for Blitz 2000.
Okay.
So it's stuck in there. That thing is like glued into the console. When my friends come over, it's like, yo, it's Blitz. I'm like, yes, we're doing it.
So, and then speaking of classic consoles, I guess enough time has passed as this can be considered a classic console now.
Right.
PlayStation is allegedly exploring internally possibilities of a PlayStation classic console. And let me just say, I instantly hate this idea because most of the stuff that was on PS1 has been remastered at this point.
Yep.
Or a lot of it doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
Apart from Need for Speed Porsche. That was like the only racing game that I ever played.
Hey, if they put Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 on that, I'm buying it straight up.
Okay. Okay.
You cannot get that game anywhere at all. And Capcom canceled their Mega Man Legends 3 that was going to come out on the, was it the DS or the 3DS? But on one of those consoles. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, sorry, handhelds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Capitalize on this, like, you know, this little craze of mini consoles. It's a mini PlayStation 1. Who doesn't love the old brick PS1 look? It looks good on your shelf, right?
It just brings me back.
With that thing.
Just brings me back.
It just brings me back bad memories of Croc 2. That was my first PS1 game. I was like, I hate you so much, Croc 2.
Oh, man. Okay.
Croc. But, like, you know, Crash Team Racing, people still really like that game.
True. Yeah.
And it's a fun one. I had a PlayStation 1, but I can't think of like a classic game that I'm like, oh, I really want to play that again. Who knows? Like, they could surprise me with like, this is what we have.
Yeah.
Gauntlet or whatever. I don't know.
It's like, by the next time, it's like by the time we reach, we're just like, we're just start reaching the PS3 Classic now pretty soon.
Oh man, I know.
GameCube.
Honestly, I'll take a PS3 Classic because I don't want to plug that thing in.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And the controller is bad now that I played with the Shock 4.
Yeah.
Although I think you can plug your DS4 into the PlayStation 3.
I don't see why you couldn't.
I think you can. You can play a lot of games that way, but
Okay.
PS3's old and slow.
Yeah. All right, and then, while we're on the subject of Japanese companies, I'm just going to bump this topic up real quick. Nintendo is considering selling the Switch at a discounted price minus the dock in Japan. So numbers I've heard that it would sell for about $200.
Great idea.
Maybe like $199.99. It would come without the dock and without the AC charger, which I know sounds really, really weird to us, like Western folk. But like phones and stuff in Japan actually don't even come with chargers. So
I bought my new 3DS XL and that didn't have a charger.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And so it's like it's not out of the norm for Nintendo to do it. But yeah, it's like you'd be seeing a price point of around $199.99 to not have the Switch. I mean, to not have the Switch dock, but still.
It's also just like a USB-C, so it's not like it's hard to find an AC for it.
Well, you see, you would be just about right on that. It is USB-C, but Nintendo did a really poor job of the power delivery system for the Switch, and so it needs to meet a certain like rated spec of power delivery, or else you start breaking your Switch. So
that's not good.
Yeah,
interesting. Because I think I left my charging cable somewhere, and I have not bought a new one. Yay! Good thing I have not bought a knockoff one yet.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea. I love it. You know?
I think it's a great idea. I have not ever really used the like TV version of my Switch.
I rarely use it.
I only use it if I want to keep playing and I'm out of battery, and I just put it on my TV, charge it, and take it with me in bed.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah. I only handheld mode it, and maybe that's not the best way to play some of those games, but
yeah. And it's like this makes. I wouldn't mind seeing it over here, actually. But, like, this makes perfect sense in Japan. You know, mobile gaming to any degree, whether it's on your phone or, 3DS or whatever, is, like, super huge over there, They're trying to partially brand the Switch so portable and whatnot, and it's like a handheld. I mean, this makes sense, too. Shows off a function of it. And, yeah, it's like, I like the idea.
And, like, theoretically, you could just buy the dock if you really were into it, so.
And it's like not every place in Japan has or it's like not every living place in Japan has room for a big TV, or let alone an expensive one over there that has an HDMI hookup.
Sure. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back.
Yeah, because the PAL cable is still really big over there. So
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if they did that at launch, they probably would have sold even more, because then you have that entry price point of like 200.
Yeah.
And you can just give it to your, that's like a perfect kid level price for your kid. Like, oh, it's $200. They're not going to annoy me with it on the TV.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully they test out well in Japan. They bring it over, because that'd be extra for that.
And then also it's like Nintendo's goal for the Switch before they completely drop the 3DS is that they need to have people need to view the Switch as like a one per person type system, as opposed to a one per family system.
Yeah.
And this move perfectly aligns with that idea. Anthony, what do you think?
Would you buy a Switch if it was $199 and it came with all that stuff?
Yes, I would, 100%.
Well, you know, John, he got his Switch for one.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
I would like. I'm really wanting to get a Switch.
Okay.
But yeah, as with most people, I suppose over here, it's like $450 or even $500 to get a Switch over here. So it's just too much to try and like to justify spending on a console. I mean, I'm a PC gamer now, and I was previously a Xbox One person, and I switched over from a PS4 to an Xbox One, which was absolutely insane. But anyway,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if it was a lot cheaper, then sure, I'd pick it up, definitely.
Okay.
And $200 is a pretty good entry point. You know, especially if you already have a second Switch. Over here, I have a Switch. I would get my girlfriend one, but in the end of the day, I'll just have 2 Switches, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, you know, that's not bad.
Why not?
Yeah. You know, you can keep one in your car. You can keep one in your boat. You can keep one in your house. No. Yeah. So I think it's a great idea. I like it. I really like this.
Yeah.
So last little topic today. Let's We Happy Few has been banned in Australia. Banned is the short way of saying.
Good job, Australia.
Yeah,
Good
banned is
job.
the short way of saying it. We Happy Few, a game, trying to be released, needed to, before being able to be sold in Australia, needed to undergo classification, and the government just straight up refused to classify it. So
I'm not familiar with this game. Is this the game that started off as an indie title and then was bought by a publisher of some kind? I'm not too familiar with the story, but I know I've heard of the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So I know quite a bit about this. So it's actually published by Gearbox, the same people who did
Borderlands.
Borderlands, and also it's okay. So it's not the same people who did that. They did Borderlands, but it's basically the same as BioShock. It's the same kind of premise. So you're basically in a town of people who are forced to take drugs, I suppose you could call them.
Sweet.
To keep these people happy and to be happy with the government. And basically you play as a character who is refusing to take the drugs and who's kind of fighting back. So you're a resistance. Now, the reason why they banned it was because of the whole drug use situation, which is, to me, it's absolutely insane because BioShock is basically the same thing, like the first 1 and 2, although
Did we
you're
lose
not
Kevin?
taking it. Maybe.
I can tell if he's staying really still or if he's frozen.
He looks frozen.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Like, blink twice if you can hear me. Okay. Anyway, as you were, Anthony.
Are you okay?
Did you die? So it's kind of like BioShock is like you take these drinks, or in the first 1 and 2, injections, I suppose you could say, that give you powers. This is basically the same thing where you take a pill that makes you happy, I suppose you could say. I don't like they can do anything with movies. They can do the same kind of thing with movies. They can do the same kind of thing with worse stuff like Saints Row or whatever.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they can't allow a tiny indie game. And it's just insane. Why not rate it R18 plus or something like that? And the publisher has expressed extreme frustration about it. And they're looking at suing the Australian government because they reckon that they've done it. Yeah. Well, yeah, they reckon they've done it incorrectly. They've classified it incorrectly.
Okay.
And it doesn't warrant the classification that they've given it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're hopefully going to try and alter it a little bit so then it will fit in with the classification while they're suing them. But yeah, I'm sure there's other ways of getting a copy of it, but it's just a pain.
Yeah.
So this was just when they. Oh.
Well, there goes that overlay.
Yeah. So this is just when they're trying to get out of early access because they've been in early access for a while. So. It was fine. You could buy it before. Okay.
Oh, what the hell? Yep. Okay,
that's weird. Because I know before it was in early access, it was this weird game where everyone was like kind of excited for it, and it came out to be this weird roguelike kind of procedurally generated thing that I guess people weren't expecting.
So it's actually like a first person.
Yeah, right.
Title.
Okay.
But
Oh.
So I think
you're back.
one of
Sorry about that.
No, it's good.
still good. I think also one of the issues that they have is because you're fighting against the government, I suppose.
Okay.
Say. But they're not classified, like they're not officially saying, "Oh yeah, that's the reason why they banned it." They're blaming it on the drug use, but I think that's the main reason for it.
So what you're saying is that we won't see an Australian revolution anytime soon.
Wow, that's happening.
I'm just curious if like this rating was because they put like a story mode in the game and that is like pushing it over the edge.
No.
Well, they
That is-
haven't officially said. They're just
okay.
saying they're blaming it primarily on the drug use of the whole.
Yeah. I guess I get that. I was just curious because if it's been on the market in early access, and then all of a sudden now that they're trying to actually get a release out, why now? Why not?
Exactly.
Why not 2 years ago or whatever when it or a year ago? I'm not sure quite.
In
when
early
this-
access, yeah.
Yeah, it's been for a while.
That seems pretty weird.
Yeah, I think
So
like the
that's-
one contrast it has to BioShock is like, obviously the drugs in BioShock are fake. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Right.
like
Yeah, exactly.
no amount of heroin I shoot up will ever give me a lightning power. Okay.
No. As much as you think
Oh,
it is,
you never
it
know.
is, but,
You know,
yeah.
try as someone might, or may
Yeah.
might. You know, it's like, but from what I understand about We Happy Few, it deals a lot with opioids. And okay, honestly, I'm surprised here in America it's not raising more of a ruckus, considering the opioid thing we have going on over here. So
Sure.
It's starting to rise a little bit, but you're right. It's not as prevalent as one would think.
yeah, it's like our government hasn't banned it, so I guess that's a good sign. But yeah,
Well, yeah.
There's
I
a
mean,
game. Yeah. I'm sure.
Australia has also been pretty quick to just kind of ban stuff when they think something is going wrong or something may pose an issue.
yeah.
Well, they've banned around 3 games incorrectly. So, which have then been reinstated. Like, I think they did. There's one here. They did
Well, they banned.
Outlast 2.
Was it Manhunt 2 or Outlast 2?
Outlast 2. They banned Outlast 2.
Manhunt 2 is another one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They banned Manhunt 2
Yeah.
as well.
I mean, I think they were. Outlast 3's just come out, hasn't it? Like last year.
I
don't know. Okay.
know about that one. Is that? I thought the second one just came out.
Okay.
Maybe I'm thinking of the second one.
I thought there was
Okay.
like two Outlast.
Okay, yeah, it was Outlast 2.
Yeah,
Sorry,
the
my
one
bad.
with the Colts and stuff like that. And
Yeah. And they banned that for, well, they reinstated it, but they banned it for the whole religion aspect of it.
sure, yeah.
I mean, it just seems like they don't make up any excuse, but they jump on any chance they possibly can to ban something or to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, there's movies out there that are much worse, which
Yeah.
they don't seem to have a problem with, but it's the whole interactivity aspect of it that
Mhm.
makes the game bad. And so that's kind of blows your mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely a little silly.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, video games are still a new thing. And with that comes these weird processes. And
Yeah, it's part of the medium
Eventually-
maturing.
exactly, eventually they'll get over that hump and they'll become like movies, hopefully, whereas people don't
Mhm.
look at them as just games and something more.
Video games will be the past thing, and then the new stuff that you're going to start governing over is VR experiences.
Exactly.
I was
yeah.
gonna say it's like we are inching closer and closer to SAO,
Yep.
which
Oh no, I'm trapped. I'm trapped in this game. Ah!
it's like, you know what? Not so bad. Not so bad. No.
You die in the game, you die in real life.
You know what? Still not so bad. I play Eve, and I feel like dying every time I lose a ship. So yeah, it's fine.
You mean you feel like dying every time you play? You even turn it on?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's like killing me would be
Well, I do
faster.
anyway.
Yeah, killing me. Okay.
Yeah.
That about does it for all the news topics. So, and this is usually the part of the show where we take community questions, but we don't have any. So I'm just gonna allot some time for a little bit of free discussion here.
Killing it.
Yeah, killing it. I have been drowning in memes of like song mashups of like Doki Doki Literature Club, This Is America, and anime openings. So
boy.
that's been my past day or so, just drowning.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've had that as well a lot.
Okay.
I have a question that I want to pose to you guys, just since
Yeah,
we're
sure.
having this time to freestyle.
Yeah.
Why aren't fighting games bigger in the esports scene? Why are they kind of the afterthought when it comes to all this money and investment to bring it to the forefront?
So like,
Andrew, shoot.
I'm super into esports, so I have an answer for this one.
I want to hear
That
your guys' first.
I was
before
gonna say I
go.
want to hear Andrew's first, actually.
Okay, all right, fine. Well, I think there's definitely an avenue for finding in the esports because it's so easy to understand. Well, it's very easy at face value to understand. Life bar.
Yeah.
Which one goes down first? That's the game, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much little minutia to fighting games that people don't look at all the time, like frame data and stuff like that. That really makes people shy away from, especially like just the general public to play them. When you look at Tekken, the newest Tekken, and I'm playing it. I've got 100 hours into Tekken.
Okay.
I don't know how to do so much in that game. Like you have to just understand so many things at these minute details, and viewers aren't necessarily going to understand that right away.
Okay.
And I think that's an issue. And I also think the other issue is how kind of the fighting game scene has been around for so long, like 1991, Street Fighter 2. It's been around forever, and that's like the original esport.
That with StarCraft is like one of the OG.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The FGC is this community that I don't think particularly wants to be part of the esport community. They're very grassroots. We have
purists.
They have these tournaments. Like there's a big, huge tournament going on right now, Combo Breaker in Chicago. Watch it, fantastic. They got this mystery game tournament, great. But they're all about being in person. The fighting game community loves bringing people together. They love playing games with each other. They love this interpersonal, relationship you have with someone you play against. Like this, that's what the fighting game community is about. They love, talking to someone, talking smack while you're playing this person.
Oh yeah.
And then shaking their hand right after, like because you're sitting 2 feet away from them.
Yeah.
So I think there's this huge disconnect when it comes to esports and how much money gets put into it, and it takes away from some of this like grassroots, from some of this where fighting games started.
Yeah.
And I just think that some people are a little hesitant to get on top of, joining in on all this money.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think that's part of it. And we look at Dragon Ball, the newest Dragon Ball game to come out, and that's a game that's bringing in a lot of people who never really played fighting games before.
A lot of new blood.
Yeah, which is fantastic. But yeah, a lot of these games are so old, like they have such a legacy to them that a lot of these new people aren't, hip to jump. Oh, it's Street Fighter 5. I never played 4. I never played 3. I never played 2. Tekken 7. I didn't even play 6. So I just think there's definitely like a legacy. There hasn't been too many. There's a lot of new fighting games. There's not a lot of new fighting games that are really punching through to the rest of everyone besides the little community they get to.
Okay. So my answer to this is that, as someone who heavily follows StarCraft 2, has semi-competitive StarCraft 2 background, heavily follows the esports scene of Counter-Strike and pays attention to League and Dota, I don't really pay attention to the fighting game scene all that much. But, okay, so I think I mostly agree with Andrew, but there are a couple of things I want to bring up as well, and it's, so I'm going to kind of contrast myself at some point in it, but just trying to bear with me. I think a lot of it is the approachability type thing. It's like, it's not the fact that, just purely as a spectator, it's hard to understand. You clearly have two guys fighting, health bars at the top, whichever one depletes first, dude loses, right? That's not by any means like difficult to understand or anything. It's like same way Counter-Strike, not that difficult to understand just as a pure spectator. You got counter-terrorists, you got terrorists, stuff like that. That's not difficult or whatever. You start getting into League of Legends, a little bit harder to understand. There's not clearly team-defined things or anything. Same with Dota 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like StarCraft is kind of the exception to this rule. I mean, it's really hard as a spectator to pick up StarCraft, especially if they're playing the same races against each other. The only reason why I'd say StarCraft is still able to bring in so many people is because of the legacy it has built.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, and I think it's a lot easier for an esport to grow when the games are very approachable to people and are like easy to acquire and like easy to play or whatever, even on a minute level. It's like, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, but I don't think there's like any fighting game that is free to play.
There are some out there.
Well, let me correct. At least ones that are played in like the pro circuit level type thing.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay. So it's like you have that cost barrier to entry there. And it's like, as opposed to, you know, say League of Legends, where, you know, it's not very hard to run, okay? And it's free. And yeah, it's something you can, another big aspect of it is social also, which is why, as much as I love StarCraft as an esport, it's not as huge anymore as it was with the rise of Counter-Strike and Dota and everything. And the reason why I think Counter-Strike, Dota, and League surpassed it, StarCraft, even though it's still my favorite esport in the world, I love you, baby. It's like, I think the reason why it got surpassed was because you can't have a team in StarCraft. You know, it's like you and like 4 buddies can't play, you know, a 5v5 in StarCraft or whatever, right? You can do this in League, you can do this in Counter-Strike, you can do this in Dota. So it's like, that's a big part of it too. And I think fighting games run into the same issue that StarCraft does in that sense. It's like, so you can have tournaments against your friends and everything, but it's not like 5 of your friends face off against 5 other guys type thing. So
I'm glad you brought that up though, because I agree. When StarCraft was one of the first esports I started watching back in the day, I fell in love with it. I don't play StarCraft personally, but I love watching matches against it. Like there was just something super exciting about it. But I'm glad you mentioned that about how StarCraft is kind of a 1v1 tournament, because I think the fighting game scene, at least when it comes to esports, the people putting the money into it are going they're going the wrong way about this completely. Don't make it clean. Why is boxing so big? Why is UFC so big? Because of the personalities behind them. You have your villains and you have your heroes. You have people who hate each other, and I've seen this on streams when you see several, you know, tournaments.
Yeah.
You see Filipino champ Ryan Ramirez. He's considered a bad guy, and everyone hates his guts.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool when you someone beats him, because there's just an excitement when you have this personalities infused into the outside meta of the actual game itself. You have your heroes, you have your villains, you have your low-tier heroes who will play characters that are not considered popular or even that good, yet they're winning tournaments. There's a lot of the outside personality of these players that I don't think esports tries to clean them up too much.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should do that. I think they should completely lean into that. I mean, that's why Conor McGregor is one of the biggest stars right now, because of all the antics he's been doing. Do I condone all of it? No, but you can't deny that it's super exciting when there is a big match and someone wants to take him down. Or Mayweather, one of the worst, in my opinion, one of the best boxers because of his record, but one of the most hated boxers in history because of how he wins. And everyone just wants a piece of that pie to bring him down. And I think the FGC could lean that way, but at least not right now. But I know there are tournaments that have leaned heavily into the storylines between players and rivalries or beefs that they have outside the game. And sometimes the commentators will tell you stuff that's happened, or they'll completely leave that out, when I think they should lean in on it. It would make it more exciting, but that's just me, because, you know, I'm a fighting game person. I love playing fighting games. I like watching that scene, and I just wanted to see it to grow, because, again, even though it's kind of hard to see all the minutia, but if someone who's never played Overwatch watches Overwatch on those streams, what are they seeing? They're seeing crazy camera angles. It probably looks like a mess to them.
I've played Overwatch,
at least have that,
and it's a hard time for me to follow.
Format. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's one question I wanted to pose to you guys, because I think you could change it and lean into the whole personality aspect of the players. But at the same time, I wouldn't want it to be forced, unless it was something like a wrestling match where these are the people who are going to be the villains and these are the people who are going to be the heroes, and they're going to play into that role. But again, that's not my call. That's not what I think would happen. But like boxing, UFC, those sports are big for a reason. And I think we shouldn't shy away from getting a little bit more lowbrow, I guess, if you want to put it in those terms. And lean into the personalities of, hey, I don't like this guy, and it's going to be a great match because I hate this guy's guts.
And it's like, another couple points I want to bring up. One of them kind of goes to what Andrew brought up, was like, you know, in fighting games, it's like there is a huge appreciation on the technical level. And it's like every game it's like between fighting game to fighting game, there's slight nuances in that technical level just because of how the game, calculates frames or whatnot, or handles all the various things like that. And so I think it's very hard to kind of, learn the different and appreciate the technical nuances of every single fighting game that's played.
Yeah, considering that each game could be radically different from each other. Like, sure, there is a life bar, but how to get that life bar down could be wildly different game to game.
And that leads me into the next issue that I see with it, is that in the fighting game circuit, is that there's no like one game that got settled on either. Like, I think maybe if they settled on like Street Fighter 5, then like
the issue is the Street Fighter has always been the go-to thing. Street Fighter 4 was this revolution. It's a fantastic game. I love Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 5 comes along. There's a lot of problems with Street Fighter 5. So
that was just a huge problem with launch. There was a lot of issues there that didn't help it rise at all. It didn't do no favors, but Street Fighter has always been such a heavy competitive game. Street Fighter's always going to be the main circuit game for any tournament.
For better or worse,
3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Street Fighter's always going to be the main household name.
And then you look at like another esport. I'm going to reference StarCraft here again, where it's like, where it requires to really appreciate kind of like a little bit more of a technical knowledge of, all the micro that's happening during a battle or whatever. Because like to an outside observer, it just looks like pretty lights going off, shooting each other type thing. But then, if you play it, have been heavily like playing it, or have been watching it for a while, you can see the tiny little nuances in the micro technique and everything, and that adds to the experience so much more. And it's like StarCraft got so big so fast and was around everywhere, especially in Korea, that like even the people who didn't play it, it was just around so much that people just watching could start picking up on the nuances too, without even having to play it. And then it was around.
That's so true. I didn't play StarCraft in the beginning. I would just watch a lot of tournaments and streams, and I quickly picked up on what a rush means, what a Zerg rush was, all the minute aspects of units and details in the game. But a big portion of that is good commentators. You need really good commentators that are able, one, to engage what's happening on the screen, two, be able to explain that to an audience that may not know what's happening.
Right, exactly. And it's like... And then last point, it's like, and then StarCraft was around for so long, and then StarCraft 2 hit. And I mean, the Brood War scene is still alive and strong in Korea. Like, it is still going insane. I dare say it rivals the StarCraft 2 scene still, which is insane to think about for a now 20-year-old game.
Wow.
And it's like, I never played Brood War, okay? But it's like, I still love to watch all the tournaments for Brood War. They're awesome.
I think that's that's my only main crux about esports in general, is that you're talking about a genre, video games, right? Where one thing could be the hotness, and then we're going to move on to the next thing that's the hotness. Did we stop playing American football and then move on to a completely different type of sport? No, like these are sports that have been around for, I don't want to say hundreds, but they've been around for a long time. And it's not like the sport changes that much within that time frame. But video games, it is about what's popular. It is about what's next. It's never been about, hey, let's play this exact game for 50 years from now.
Right. But it's so easy to do that now, though, because it's like the way that architecture is written now and whatnot. It's like, and the way that we see games adapted. I mean, League of Legends has been around since 2008 now. It's like, it's 10 years old. It receives periodic updates that sort of like refresh it, keep it interesting. So it's like, I mean, 2018 League of Legends is a very different game than 2008 League of Legends.
I think why, like, I'm going to bring it back to like fighting games, but like why fighting games they want to keep moving on to the next one is like look at Melee, look at Smash Brothers Melee, where this game's been around for what, I don't know when this came out, 2004, something like that, maybe. GameCube game. And now people are still playing it, seeing still very healthy. Well, healthy is a word, but there's a lot of people playing it, but it boils down to like there's like 4 people who always win every tournament. And like that's at a spot where it's not really healthy for the community if these 4 people are always winning every big tournament.
And we
came out 2001.
Yeah, we experienced a similar thing in the StarCraft 2 scene a few years ago when it was like, it was not necessarily the same players, but it was the same race, Protoss specifically, that was just winning every tournament. And it had a strain of like, and that's what caused the decline of the StarCraft 2 scene, because was getting huge, it got huge, it was continuing to grow, but then it had this little slump period because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like we had like 4 or 5 tournaments in a row just over in the West here that it's like the finals were Protoss versus Protoss, which is not a pretty boring matchup in itself, but it's also a very, very technical matchup as well. So it's like you really have to know what's going on in order to like be entertained by it. And
I also kind of think fighting games get like a bad rap a little bit with just like the general gaming population. People are just like, oh, fighting games, I don't understand them. I'll play Injustice for the story. I'll play Mortal Kombat for the story, but that's it. I don't want to. I don't want to get too deep into it, you know. And I guess I understand why, because these are like those, you know, online games where you need to put time in to be good at them. So you're not good at these. When you're getting whooped online, it's not fun.
No, it's
you
not.
You play for a little bit, and you're like, well, I'm done. I've got this 40 games in a row.
Exactly. Like, there's a different, like, losing. Let's say if I'm playing a Call of Duty match and I'm losing, that's fine. I'll get into the next one.
Yeah,
there's
just
something
leave it
about
on your
fighting games
team.
when you play a match, it really gets under your skin. It really infuriates you when you just get owned and whooped by somebody just straight up better than you.
Right.
And that's it. You have no.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit a wall, and the games themselves don't tell you how can you surpass a certain level. Like, you're gonna pretty much be stuck on that wall or have a community around it that can help you improve. But who wants to do that for every game? You know, like nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
And then it's also like, correct me if I'm wrong, do fighting games nowadays, they have a matchmaking system, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna play ranked mode,
Okay.
yeah, they'll have like a match.
Is there like a clear defined rank type thing?
Yeah, usually
Okay.
like in most games we'll have like a ranked match and a player match where you're gonna you gain or lose points and then rank up. You're gonna play people around the same points.
Yeah.
Whereas player matches is kind of whoever you match with, you're gonna play.
Okay.
So you could play someone terrible or way below you, or someone who's got 3,000 games more than you.
Yeah. So there goes that point. Then anyway, so yeah, thanks for the question, Kevin. That was good.
No problem.
I enjoyed talking about that.
I'm always down to talk fighting games. So
Yeah, that was great.
got
All
my
right,
Tekken hat on. I'm feeling good.
Andrew, you got any questions you'd like to pose to us or no?
No, I'm good.
I got Anthony.
I want to kill my PC. That's about it.
Excellent.
Anthony has just been staring murderously at his PC for the last our whole discussion.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a driver that's causing the issue.
Mm.
It's only just happened since I got a new, because my Windows.
Take a look at your screenshot real quick.
My Windows ran out, and then since I've reinstalled Windows and got Microsoft to do it, that's just started happening.
Oh.
What games are you guys excited for that we know are going to be at E3? Like, I'll just go first. I'm super excited for The Division 2. I love the first one.
Yeah.
I love the gear grind. I love being max level. You know, all that good stuff. What games are you guys excited for?
Just Death Stranding. I really want to see what they got coming at E3. So yeah.
I want Ace Combat.
Another Ace Combat
So
E3
bad.
showing. Yeah.
Yeah.
See what they have to say for themselves, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to come out in April.
Wow. There goes that idea.
Yeah. All right, Andrew.
I'm looking forward to Soul Calibur 6. I played a little bit of it.
That's right. Yeah.
I like it. But like as I'm getting more and more into Tekken, I'm like, oh man, I want to. There's something with a fighting game player. I don't know if it's other people or if it's just me, but like a new game comes out, I'm like, I need to sink my teeth into that and figure out this game. So like,
Awesome.
It's really cool for me to like try and learn a new system.
Yeah.
Have you tried the demo for Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle?
I have not.
What is that name?
It's like a.
I know it's such a terrible name, but it's pretty much bringing 4 anime properties together into its own Marvel vs. Capcom universe.
No, I think I've heard about it before.
Yeah.
But okay.
I'm not a big tag guy. I don't like the verse games. I'm not a big versus guy.
Yeah, because they get very messy. Sometimes it's sometimes hard to see what's going on the screen, all that stuff.
I just have really bad execution, so like me trying to play these games is like bad.
All right. So Anthony, got some deals for us?
Yeah. Luckily they weren't deleted when my computer crashed.
Don't you dare insult it like that. Okay.
So starting off with PS4 as usual, we have and also in America as usual as well. We have a PS4 Pro 1TB limited edition God of War console with game for $539 at Amazon.
Okay.
Now that one is a little bit expensive, but it's because it's a limited edition console, and they have, I think, 3 available. So 3 left, and
Okay.
then they're going to be sold out.
Oh, that just sounds like it's some kind of like markup. I don't think that's what they retail for.
So
I was not paying enough attention to what country? US?
$539.
$539.
For what is it? PS4 Pro and God of War?
Yeah, with the special edition one.
Yep.
Okay, that's actually not too bad, I think. But
I think
that would be a markup.
Oh,
Oh,
that's actually quite the markup. I think the PS4 Pro is like 400.
4.
It's 400, and then God of War is $60, so you're paying like an extra 100 for some like dank Kratos skinning on it. I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's probably because they ran out of special editions of that PS4 Pro. Because I know God of War was really popular. I saw people at the GameStops locally lining up out the door. It was a huge launch.
Oh yeah. All right. What's up?
We also have a PS4 Slim 500 gig console with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered for $343 at Amazon.
That's
and
good.
Yeah, that's a much better deal, that one. We also have a PSVR, PS Camera, Gran Turismo Sport for $244.96 at Amazon as well.
That's pretty good too.
For the Xbox, we have a Microsoft, obviously Microsoft, Xbox One S 1TB starter bundle with 4K Blu-ray. Obviously, I don't know why they include this in their title.
Advertising.
At Best Buy for $299.
Oh.
We also have an Xbox One 1TB console Rise of the Tomb Raider bundle, which includes Rise of the Tomb Raider and also Tomb Raider as well, for $289.
Oh,
that's not bad actually.
That's good.
That's also at Best Buy as well.
Okay.
We have an Xbox One S 1TB Assassin's Creed Origins bundle. Comes with Origins and Siege at Newegg for $299.
Oh, okay.
That one's a pretty good one as well.
Yeah.
And Nintendo Switches are around the same price as well, but we have a Nintendo Switch Grey Joy-Con at Amazon for $299.
Okay.
A Nintendo Switch Grey Joy-Con console and accessories bundle, including stand and carry case at Amazon for $319. Also a Neon console as well with a case, play stand, game storage, and grip kit at Amazon for $341 as well. For Australia, we have an Xbox One S 1TB Minecraft limited edition console bundle, including Minecraft games. That includes Minecraft Story Mode, and also the original Minecraft as well, at Big W for $329. Now these are retailing elsewhere for $449 at EB Games and whatnot.
Okay.
We also have an Xbox One S 1TB console plus 3 games: Halo Master Chief Collection, Rocket League, and Forza Horizon 2 at EB Games for $349. For the PS4, we have a PlayStation 4 1TB console plus Detroit Become Human and Destiny 2 for $499 at JB Hi-Fi, which they're retailing for around $530 at the moment for over in Australia. We also have a PSVR plus PS4 camera plus VR Worlds at eBay for $419 as well. For the Switch, Nintendo Switch Neon Blue and Red Joy-Con at Amazon for $398, and a Nintendo Switch Neon console at Big W also retailing for around $429. For the PC, we have for G2A, they are having a weekly sale which ends in 1 day and 15 hours. They've got PUBG for 26% off, Dark Souls 3 for 78% off, etc. Green Man Gaming are having their birthday sale, which is up to 75% off at the moment.
Okay.
Also included in the birthday sale, they have a publisher sale as well, which is they've got Square Enix games, which are up to 75% off as well. Also, Ubisoft are having a sale, which is 75% off, also at Green Man Gaming. And Deep Silver Games are 80% off at the moment as well. And also Curve Digital Games, which are games like Human Full Flat and whatnot, are 75% off also. Recently released games get 25% off with code OUTNOW25. And Best of the Rest sale up to 25% off with code OTR25, which is the first letter of each word for that. For Humble Bundle, we have a Humble Spring Sale up to 90% off on games like Witcher 3, etc. And Spring Publisher Sale for Rockstar, Square Enix, etc., which are up to 80% off as well. And they also have a Pay What You Want multiplayer sale. For Random Stuff, which if you head on over to Reddit, they usually have a weekend thread where people just post deals and whatnot. For the Humble Store, Tales of Berseria is currently $14.99, which is 75% off. Steam, which is Emily is Away 2, which is $1.99, which is 60% off. Humble Store.
Emily is
bad,
away.
bad game.
Yeah, bad.
bad game.
I don't know if it's worth a pack of gum.
Oh.
Fair enough. Humble
first one is
Store, Metal
free.
Gear Rising. Hey,
The first one
should
is
be
free.
free.
No, it is free.
Oh, Emily Way is free?
Yeah, the first one is free.
Oh, don't even get it for that.
It's not worth the minuscule. It's not worth like the 90 megabytes of hard drive
It's not
space.
worth the data. It's not
Yeah.
worth the data. Save your data caps.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Humble Store, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is currently $7.50, which is 75% off, and other Metal Gear games are also on sale. Chrono.gg has Killing Floor 2 Digital Deluxe Edition for $16, which is 60% off. My Time at Portia on Steam is currently $15.99, which is 20% off, which ends May the 28th, which is tomorrow for Australia. Fanatical 2K games sale includes Sid Meier's Civilization, Digital Deluxe, BioShock the Collection. Sid Meier's is currently 60% off. BioShock the Collection is 73% off. Borderlands, the pre-sequel, is currently 74% off as well. XCOM 2 Collection is 59% off, and XCOM 2 War of the Chosen is currently 40% off and more.
All right.
Still going. Gamersgate has Borderlands. Never ending.
Yeah.
Borderlands 2 Game of the Year Edition is currently 75% off, and other 2K games are up to 80% off. Galactic Civilization at Game Billet is currently, Galactic Civilization 3 is currently 44% off. At Games Planet, Ubisoft Deals Assassin's Creed Origins is currently $25.99. Cool, let's go and get why not? Is currently $3.86. Watch Dogs 2 is currently 72% off and more. For Steam, there's an Assassin's Creed sale as well, which is 66% off assorted Assassin's Creed games. Black Desert Online is currently 50% off. My Time at Portia is currently 20% off. Borderlands 2 is currently 78% off. Dead by Daylight is currently 50% off. And Don't Starve Together is currently 40% off. And Shadow of Mordor is 60% off. And that is all I have for deals at the moment.
That was a lot.
Which is enough, I think.
My wallet is happy now. Okay.
You get to a point where you're just reading through the thread and it's like, oh, I've got to include that. I've got to include that. And
Keep
just
going,
keep
keep going. Yeah. No, I gotcha. All right. So that about does it for the show. No after show today. This thing has gone on long enough. So,
Cool.
Yeah. All right. We will see you all next week. Same bad time, same bad place.
See you guys.